If you have not watched the second season of Sex Life, that's okay, I guess. I'm not going to spoil it, I think, too much. I'm certainly not going to tell you any details. I watched this show. I watched this show because my wife likes watching this show, and because um, I enjoy watching shows where I can make fun of every decision that every character makes through the whole thing, which is why I watch shows like 90 Day Fiance and like Perfect Match with the Nick Lachey thing. I watch these shows because people in these shows, whether scripted or not, they make just the worst decisions that you can imagine as human beings, and then you get to just criticize them the whole time. Like, I never do reviews of shows that I like, okay, because I don't want to go on for hours about X Files and how awesome it is, because it is. And if you don't know that, then I don't care if you don't know that. But you have a show like Sex Life, and it's hilarious to watch these people do stupid things. And it's not just the actors and the way they're scripted and the way they go about things. It's the writers of the show that you can just are looking at like, you really made that decision. That was the writing decision that you made at that moment. It's hilarious. Okay, so first of all, this is definitely a show. It's a show for chicks. It's a show for women. All right. If you're wondering, like, I wonder if guys are like, it's not made for dudes. Okay, and let me tell you why it's not made for dudes. Um, all the men in the show are middle-aged businessmen. Okay, they're all really ultra successful, have lots of money. They're all pretty decent looking dudes, and they all have washboard abs in their mid late 30s, early 40s. Okay, now I'm middle aged. I don't have washboard abs, even though I do spend a bit of time in the gym. I don't have washboard abs. I don't care to have washboard abs. Okay, I've never had them, and I don't care to. I'd rather be strong than be lean. That's just me. But the point, that gets away from the point. The point is that um, I know a lot of guys my age, and I can count on like less than a hand how many of them over 40 are in decent shape. Dudes over 40 are not in good shape. They're not, okay? So the fact that every dude in this neighborhood in this show is in good shape, it's like, obviously this is a show for women because all the dudes are good looking, and they're all like 1% guys. They're all tall, they're all great looking, they're in shape, and it's like, girls, ladies, if you have a husband who is in his 30s or 40s and he still has washboard abs or is even in a little bit of decent shape and he makes a lot of money, keep him. There's not a lot out there, okay? I remember when I went on Match.com after I divorced, and I was looking at. I specifically spent like one night where I was looking up men my age who were also looking for women. I wanted to see like, what was my competition. I hadn't done this in a very long time. What's my competition? It was hilarious. All right, guys in their mid 30s who have beard guts and they're balding and they have zero muscle definition. I was like, how do you let yourself get like this? But anyway, all the men in the show are way too forthcoming and honest with all of their emotions. Not that men can't have emotions, and not that men shouldn't discuss their emotions with their wives. You absolutely should. But like all the time, like they discuss their emotions and the occurrences of their lives as much as women do. It's just not a thing. It's not a thing that happens. Men don't discuss their feelings all the time. They might discuss them like one time to deal with a situation. They deal with the situation, they move on. It's not something that we keep dwelling on. But I mean, maybe there's some dudes that do. That's fine. I'm not one of them. I don't know a lot of guys who are. So the show really falls short. The show that I know this is a show for girls because it advances this notion. First of all the women in the show are like at best a 7 on the 0 to 10 scale of that we use generally for attractiveness. Like the prettiest girl in the show is like maybe a 7 on her best day. Okay, all the women are in their late 30s, maybe early 40s. Some of them have kids in this show, and yet they are all highly desired and wanted by these wealthy middle-aged dudes. That is hilariously unrealistic. Um, I remember, just this is just me personally, my personal example. I filed for divorce in my mid 30s, and when I finally got around to getting on like Match.com and other dating sites, I did not look at any woman over the age of 30. They just didn't. All right, I'm not going to marry somebody my same age. If I'm 35, I have a job, and I'm a decent individual. I'm I'm going to look for a woman who's younger than me. Okay, and they all are. Okay, you don't have a guy who's 38 years old, who's 39 years old, who's 42 years old, and he's going to be going out and looking for a woman who's 40 some years. No, all right, they're gonna go younger, and they're certainly not going to just lose it and fall head over heels for some woman who's been around the block too many times and she's like 38. It's not a thing. It doesn't happen. It does in the show though, and it's hilarious. So just the way it's written is just ridiculous. Again, great entertainment if you want to like just laugh at the bad writing and the bad plot twists, and the whole show is just relationships. Just this person wants this person wants this person. Like that's the entire show. Okay, so if you're into that, that's something you want to see. I recommend it. It's hilarious to laugh at for like a good several episodes.